Hey guys, Zach here, and welcome back to another action figure review, and today we'll be taking a look at the Godzilla 2019 Gashapon. Now, this version of Godzilla, of course, comes from the most recent film in the Godzilla franchise, Godzilla King of the Monsters, which I've talked about before on this channel. In fact, I even reviewed it a couple months ago, but if you want to know my exact thoughts on it, I thought it was really good. The human stuff wasn't great, but to me it was tolerable, but the stuff with the monsters was where the movie really shined. All the scenes with Godzilla, all the scenes with King Ghidorah, they were all great. King Ghidorah especially was easily one of the best parts about that movie, so yeah. Anyway, with all that out of the way, let's take a quick look at the pamphlet that usually comes with these Gashapon minifigures. So, of course, we've seen this before, all the figures in the set, everything you get, and the cover with the Bandai logo on the corner. Japanese writing, Gashapon, the two emblems, and the way to assemble this little set. More words. And now for the figure itself. And really quick, I just want to say, the first two figures in the set I really liked. First, I opened up the 1954 Gashapon figure in this set, and I really liked that. Then I opened up Shin Godzilla, and I really liked them. This is, to me, where, you know, the set kind of goes downhill. This isn't a bad figure by any means, but compared to Shin Godzilla and the 1954 Godzilla figure in the set, not as good, so, yeah. Anyway, before we take a look at Godzilla himself, let's take a quick look at his accessories. So just like with Shin Godzilla, we get the sandy base, and it's pretty much the same. The painting's nice, no articulation, but the sculpting and detailing on this is nice. Not going to go into too much detail because, well, I already talked about this before, and if you haven't seen my Shin Godzilla video, then, well, go check it out. That was last week's video, so, yeah. And, of course, the base is pretty much the same as the other bases. This is just, you know, supposed to be Godzilla's skin, so, yeah. Now we get a smoky effect part, which does look very nice. And it's comparable to the Shin Godzilla effect piece, but it's slightly bigger and there is a little bit more fire to it, which is nice. And honestly, this is probably one of my favorite effect pieces in the set, you know. I like the one that came with Shin Godzilla, but that was a bit too small. And I like the fire pieces that came with the 54 Godzilla, but I don't know, I think I just prefer this. But yeah, no paint, this is just transparent orange plastic, which looks nice. No articulation, but the sculpting and detailing here looks very nice, so yeah. Anyway, with all that out of the way, let's take a quick look at Godzilla himself. And Godzilla himself, he's not great, but he's not terrible. So, yeah, that's all I have to say there. But first, we'll take a look at the painting on this figure. And the painting on this figure is actually pretty nice. So, most of the body is a grayish color, which is accurate to the movie. And we actually do have some minor hints of withering throughout, like on the side of the leg right here. Very hard to see, but it's barely there. And honestly, that's pretty much it in terms of the body. The eyes are painted white as well as the teeth, and the teeth actually look kind of nice on this. So, yeah, the tongue is painted pink. And the dorsal plates, it's actually really cool. These aren't painted blue, these are actually transparent pieces of plastic. This is just one piece, but this part of the figure is transparent, which I think is really cool. And it's actually pretty similar to the SH Monster Arts 2014 Spitfire Godzilla, but yeah. But that's pretty much it for the painting on this figure. Not a lot, you know, and usually that wouldn't be such a bad thing, but after getting the 1954 figure and the Shin Godzilla figure in this set, it is a little bland. So this painting on this figure, I almost said sculpting, but the painting on this figure, not bad, but still bland, so I'd say it gets a pass and a half, so yeah. Anyway, now we'll take a look at the articulation, and just like with Shin Godzilla, this figure comes in 7 pieces. Oh, well, the tail just came off, but yeah, the tail comes in 3 pieces. The legs, of course, are their own pieces, and the head comes off, which I don't really know why, but yeah. And again, 7 pieces, and the same way you put this together, well, you know, it's basically like Shin Godzilla, so I'm not really going to go into too much detail. You just take this piece right here, plug it in, like so. Then you take this leg right here, plug it in, take the head, And this figure actually can stand without the tail, so again, you can have kind of like that Gabra effect, which is kind of funny, but yeah. Then you want to assemble the tail, so you take the fatter piece and plug the smaller piece into it. And then you take the smallest piece, plug it in, like so, and there you go. And I know I said this plenty of times in the past, I don't know if this would count as articulation, but I'd say, just for the sake of this video, I'd say it does count, but it's nice. Not bad, it's pretty good, so I'd say the articulation gets a pass. Now we'll take a look at the sculpting on this figure. The sculpting on this figure is almost perfect, but not quite. In fact, some of the bits here are actually not great at all. So first of all, let's get the elephant out of the room. The head is way too small. It almost looks like Godzilla has a shrunken head. It actually reminds me of that scene from Ed, Edd n Eddy where Ralph shrinks Eddie's head. It's kind of like a long thing, but if you've seen that episode of Ed, Edd n Eddy, then you'd know what I'm talking about. But yeah, either way, the head is very small. That, and I think the tail, like, it's supposed to be like curved, which would look nice, but for some reason right here, there's like a kink in the tail, so it looks like he's trying to bend his tail, but it just snapped and he just ended up breaking his tail. Which honestly looks kind of painful, but yeah. Other than that, the sculpting here is still nice. We have kind of a seam right here. The arms don't really come off or anything like that, so we just have kind of a seam right there. But yeah, the sculpting on this figure, not great, but it's still alright. So I'd say the sculpt gets 3/4 of a pass. So yeah. Anyway, now I'll take a look at the detailing, and the detailing, again, isn't awful. So going to his ridiculously tiny head, the detailing is somewhat alright. However, down the neck we do have some more scaling and whatnot. And I don't think he has gills. He probably does in this figure, but they're very not well defined at all, so yeah. However, we do have some nice scaling right here on the side of the body, which actually does look nice, and we have some nice detailing on the arms. The front of the body could have looked better, but I think the detailing on the legs look very nice. We have a nice bit of musculature, and the scaling here looks nice. Everything here looks nicely defined, and it looks really good. And even on this leg. This leg looks a little bit fatter, but it still looks nice. Again, we have a very noticeable seam right here, but that's perfectly fine. And going to the tail, we have more creases and whatnot. We do have kind of a gap right here, but that can easily be fixed. But the creasing here looks very nice, as well as the underside of the tail. And the dorsal plates are detailed semi-nicely as well. Not great, but it is kind of hard to see the detailing because this is a transparent piece, but yeah. And that is pretty much it for the detailing on this figure. And the detailing on this figure, not as good as Shin Godzilla or the 1954 Godzilla in this set, but it still looks nice enough. So I'd say the detailing gets a pass. So at the end of the day, should you get this? At this point, this is where, you know, the figures kind of get weaker in this set. But this is still not a bad figure by any means, you know. It at least stands and, you know, from far away it looks nice. Yeah, the head looks distractingly small, and there is, like, you know, that weird kink in the tail where it looks broken, but yeah, no, other than that, I think that, you know, this is still a pretty nice figure. Just as a comparison, here is the original 1954 figure. And again, I think that this is the better looking figure. And just because I can, here is the Shin Godzilla in this set. And again, this is a very nice figure as well. So, yeah. Again, not an awful figure, but not great either. So, yeah. But anyway, if you want this figure, here it is next to Dr. Billy Grant. Or, not in front of, next to, there we go. So, yeah. Anyway, that is it for today. Have a great rest of your week, and I will see you in the next video. Peace, Zek out.